Hear me, so I just have to remember this for when the audience
They
does
can hear you now.
Okay. But I'm gonna post the post of like how we're alive right now, and then I will say what my older sibling says because they're a gender, and this is the leftist older sibling that lives in Oregon with the family. Since non-binary Parents' Day isn't widely celebrated, which I think is the second Sunday of April, if I remember correctly. Steve Jobs told me that. Happy Mother's Day to all non-binary parents. Part 2 coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
And
so let's see. I just love that Elon Musk is calling out J.K. Rowling.
something broken clocks.
Well, the thing is, he says, while I heartily agree with your points regarding sex and gender, may I suggest also posting interesting and positive content on other matters? It's like, I agree, they don't actually exist, but you're getting boring.
Well then.
United in bigotry.
Yeah.
Still united in bigotry, yes, because Elon Musk is still a white supremacist, does tariff evening Metro. It is the second Sunday of the month, Metro. So if you are a patron, and if you're our patron and somehow can't access the Patreon and need a link, Metro, just let me know. If you are a patron, speaking of which, let's thank the patrons. John Barkin, please get the list for me to correct me if I miss anyone. But from off the top of my head, as also the name scrolling down the bottom: Joe, Marty, Von Rack, Ely. Thank you, Ely, and hello, Ely. Mithro, so according to at least the text scrolling down below, Mithro is a member of the Patreon. So okay, please send me a link. All right, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link on Discord DMs if I remember, if I can find you in my Discord DMs, and email. It's for sure sending to you an email is kind of it's actually probably is faster. And easily go into my email there, compose. You're the only mithril in my. Come on, you're in my mithril. Say link.
You're still an active member, so you should find the link on Patreon, Mithril.
It's probably easier to access. Sometimes you have to remember your passwords to only up. I know. Oh God, you have to remember passwords, and so, okay, there's that, and other, and the fuck boys. Thank you to the fuck boys as well too, which is me. And yeah, in case any new viewers are like Jexy is kind of wondering the fuck boys who's been called the fuck boys. John Brockman calls me and Mehmet, a good friend Mehmet. He's been on past shows and is a great guy as well. But he is a self-proclaimed slut, proud self-proclaimed slut, bisexual slut too. So and then John Brockman calls him a fuck boy, and then John Bronson decides to call me a fuck boy, and I just accept that as well too. Because sometimes I am, man. And sometimes I'm not. And actually, I'm seeing myself more as a man in intimate situations as were too. And this is very interesting as well too. Oh, so yes, I do qualify as a fuckboy, even though I'm a virgin. That I don't mind a nickname as were too. And so, Mithril, we should be able to hear you if you're with your audio connected.
Can you
there
hear me
you
now?
are.
Yes.
There you are.
Lovely.
It sounds like you're talking into walkie-talkie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's depending on which microphone is picking up from.
Yeah, oh, give me a moment.
But you're definitely audible, so it's not so we can hear you bitch about the British Queen, or you complain about whatever
king.
Image
they
that,
have a king now.
King British Queen.
Yeah, no, we've got a king now. Ah, you can't hear me now. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Nope, we can.
All right. Is that any better?
It hasn't really changed.
Right, okay. Oh well, never mind. I'll get through it.
Yeah, we can still hear you. So you can bitch about like King Chuck all you want.
Oh God, don't even want to start.
But
I mean, our political class is clearly run by a bunch of demi-brained troglodytes or something. But yeah, I'm having a great time. Everything's fucking wonderful here. They hate the disabled even more than they used to.
They're also pulling that crap in my country now, so
Mm.
so I'm going to another rally. Hopefully, there's going to be a lot of more people than last time we had a rally for disabled rights.
Mm.
It's
It's
all
just-
about making awareness, though, isn't it? You know, as much as anything.
It
It's
is because it's just like what they want to do in my country is they they want to give the staff the power to shut people into their apartments so that they can't leave. They
oh
want
Jesus.
Yeah, and that is just really worrying. It's to sort of save on costs by just shutting people in their apartments,
Oh
which is
God. Our lot are doing the kind of the opposite. They're wanting to force people who are disabled into work because something about work will make you free. I don't know. There was something like that.
God,
yeah,
Mithril.
Hey, I'm not joking. That
where have I heard that one
almost
before?
said it. He came so fucking close to saying it. Yeah, and I mean it's absolutely ridiculous. I've got a friend who's severely mentally disabled. He's in his 40s, but he's got the mental age of a 6-year-old. You know, what the hell is he going about? I mean, I suppose stack shelves maybe, but you know, it's not exactly. We
Yeah,
have to make them paying members of society. You know, oh fuck off. How
yeah,
about breaking the necks of all the multiple billionaires then, and for a start, and telling them to go out and work?
yeah, and yeah, it's silly. It's like ridiculous, and it's like we in the disabled community in Denmark are telling the politicians this is going down a very old path where you're going to shut disabled people up in big institutions
Yeah,
like they did 100 years ago,
yeah,
and that is
Mhm.
not the path we want to go down because it was horrendous.
yeah.
We had people who got sterilized
Hmm.
up until the 1970s, like forcefully sterilized.
Yep.
And then when they had been forcefully sterilized, they got forced out into servitude onto farms and in families where they were
Hmm.
Abused.
mistreated a lot of the time. So
Yeah, it's truly horrifying.
yeah, it is just
And the worst part of it is the employers party, because they're no longer the Labour Party. They are now the employers party.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Have basically said we're going to just carry on doing this. We quite like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, you know, I can't vote for fucking Starmer's version of the Labour Party, and I never will.
Mhm. At least you got multiple options there. You got the Greens.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got our version is what somebody I saw today calling worst past the post, which is pretty
Yeah.
much the truth. You know, effectively we are a two-party state,
Mhm.
pretty much, because you know, and you get sick and tired of being, oh, if you're if you vote for any other party, you might as well vote for the Tory. Fuck off. How dare you take that tone?
Yeah, we get this all the
Especially,
time.
especially when you get all your information from the Daily Whale.
Yeah, and like I complain a lot about like I complain a lot when I'm in Siege tries to ask aways about like the prospect of like voting in November as well too. Because remember, people, your election is like close by, right, Mitchell?
Yeah, it's got to be this year. I mean, theoretically, he could hold on till January next year, but that would mean, firstly, politically campaigning over the Christmas period, which would make him about as popular as a porcupine in a balloon factory.
Yeah,
And
at least our
second,
elect. Go ahead.
secondly, their Conservative Party is largely people my age group and older. So you would be dragging the elderly out in it deeply inclement weather, probably quite possibly killing them off through double pneumonia.
Hmm.
I mean, the polls are suggesting that the Conservatives might get destroyed, like really badly destroyed, down to double, even as far as going down to double figures, although I very much doubt it.
Hmm.
But I think it's more likely to be a hung parliament, and Labour should be very careful about that, because the party who is most likely to hold the balance of power in a situation like that is the Scottish National Party. Ooh.
That's right. I've heard about
That'd be
like
fun.
yeah.
Well, especially since Sir Keir Starmer has permanently said he's not going to do a deal with the SNP. So yeah, he could be in some trouble. And it could, in theory, let the Tories in through the back door. So yeah, not great.
Yeah.
The UK is a shithole. The
Mhm.
English, the UK government is mainly made up of a ruling party that is almost all entirely based in England. So
Yep.
we are effectively a colonialist political system, which is great
Yep.
because just continue our long, glorious history of colonialism, because that always works out so well.
Did in the past.
Well, yeah, kind of. Maybe not for the people who have been colonized.
Yeah.
And the most recent one was some barking mad woman from the far right of the Conservative Party defected to the Labour Party and was welcomed with open arms, which says everything you need to know about the Labour Party now. And she is barking mad. Her husband was the previous MP for the area and ended up going to jail through sexual harassment charges. She blamed the victims, saying it was difficult to understand how anybody wouldn't want to get sexually involved with her. Well, he's now ex-husband, because he's so stunningly attractive. A view shared by one person, and she's consistently voted to be anti-immigration. She's taken the classic sort of Republican line on immigration and borders and various other things. So, yeah, welcome to the Labour Party, the natural home for neo-fascists now.
I mean, like the current Labour Party under Keir Starmer for sure. He is just like a continuation of like New Labour from Tony Blair, which
Oh, it's
market
worse.
that.
It's
Yeah.
worse.
Oh, jeez.
He's
Yeah.
worse.
Well, I mean,
Um,
like in like the USA with like the third wave of the Democrats with Bill Clinton as or we now have Joe Biden, who's honestly to the right of Reagan on some issues.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, Starmer has purged the pretty much any left-wing people from the Labour Party now, so it is now firmly centre right, I would say.
They're the
Actually, I would
Democrats.
put, yeah, yeah. It's now a party of the Democrat Party, but he people keeps. I mean, I don't really know what it is. 'Cause I think it's an American thing, but apparently he served on the Trilateral Commission, whatever the fuck that is. So, and everybody says that's proof that he was he's far right or on the right anyway.
Mm.
So
Trilateral Commission, an international, non-governmental international organization aimed at fostering closer cooperation between Japan, Western Europe, and North America.
hmm,
So it's the Anti-Communist League.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So Jeremy, oh God, Jeremy Corbyn has still been not allowed to return to the Labour Party. Diane Abbott, who was his sort of second in command and is now the longest serving ever black woman MP in the UK. She was the first black woman to get elected as an MP as well, quite a long time ago now. She's pretty cool, but like the rest of us, she's getting a wee bit older now. So, and my dog keeps shouting at the lightning and thunder.
Mm-hmm. The gods are mad for you for speaking ill of Keir Starmer for some reason. Even though I don't know if Keir Starmer's religious or not.
I very much doubt it. I suspect he's one of these that goes to church but is not, you know, just
Uh, yeah,
just rocks up.
doing the like point scoring for like the religious folks in the labor
Yeah.
vote. Yeah,
I mean, we don't have the same problems with religious
right.
nutcases that you guys have. I was trying to understand. I was watching some stuff about it the other day, trying to understand why um, the American political scene is so focused on the religiosity of its runners. It seems insane to me.
I
I'm,
think
I'm
there was
sure. I'm sure Ellie is the same. We don't give a damn what religion you are in
Yeah, yeah,
Europe and the UK.
yeah. I have a theory because both both Denmark and UK has sort of state churches integrated in a system, and they have to be broad and have to sort of not be too extreme because otherwise people wouldn't attend.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
kind of think that helps with not getting as extreme as
yeah.
yeah.
That's
My
a really
theory.
good point. Yeah, I hadn't thought to that. So yeah,
Yeah, that's my theory. At least it's because it has to be broad enough to
I
sort of also get
yeah.
the people who are almost atheists to attend.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
Ben Elton, who was a stand-up comedian back in the 80s and used to be quite funny, used to say that a lot of people, when asked their religion is, well, I suppose I'm C of E.
yeah,
And there's quite a lot of truth in that. There's
yeah.
quite a lot of accuracy in that. So
Mhm.
Hmm.
I mean it because you can see the uproar when, for instance, a priest in Denmark won't marry gay people. That is actually something that is considered a huge problem.
yeah,
Yeah, because it's like even if you're not a member of the church in Denmark, your taxes still goes
Pay
to
for it.
pay for the
yeah,
churches, and therefore the church has to be welcoming of everyone, or
yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
um,
It's yeah. The church in the UK is run like a private institution, but you
okay.
know, yeah, it has. They have the Lords Spiritual, which is permanent seats in the House of Lords, which is part of the decision-making process in the UK. So
Yeah. But no one
it's
really gives a damn in Europe what
no, they
Britain
don't.
wants.
No,
It's like,
no.
Well, unless they're Muslims.
yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah.
Even then, I mean, I worked for quite a lot of Islamic owners, and they were all pretty chill.
Mhm.
You
No,
know,
I'm
they
saying
were all,
that Europeans
oh
don't like
yeah,
Muslims.
well,
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. I
That
couldn't.
is that is
Tories.
true to an extent. I think the more you sort of interact with Muslims, the less sort of the more similarities you see between sort of
Yes.
Christianity and Islam, and then it just
Yeah.
becomes like, oh yeah, it's just the same thing with some different names.
When
And
I was taxiing, I had a discussion stroke argument with a fundy in a UK fundy. UK fundies are very weird. They're the most weedy people you can imagine, you know. And I said to him, he first he tried to tell me that Muslims worship Muhammad. I said no, Muhammad is actually there
Buddhists.
is actually
They're
he
Jesus
was
or
just a
something like that.
messenger. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like
He's more like
Jesus, except
Moses than
with
Jesus.
yeah, except
Yeah.
without the divinity bit. And then
From-
I said to him, you do understand, don't you, that the Judaic religion, the Islamic religion, and Christianity all worship the same damn God, don't you?
Yeah.
Just by a slightly. Oh well, I don't think that's right. I don't care what you think. It's a fact. Oh well, I'd better go and look it up. And I just thought, I don't know whether I have or not, but I just hope I've sowed a little seed of doubt in this moron's head. It's the advantage of having a vicar for a dad, you know. You do learn a bit. And just being generally interested as well, you know. So
the only sort of sort of place where I can't relate to a lot of Muslims is that they believe in hell much more than Christian people do.
yeah.
Well, there are some Christian here in the U.S. There are a lot of Christians who really believe in hell.
Yeah, but in Denmark, it's not, at least the Christianity that I grew up with, we don't really talk about hell as a possibility, because the theory is that if you get baptized as a baby, you're saved for
That's
the rest
it.
of your life.
Yeah, and there are people here in the U.S. who have that same belief: once saved, always saved.
Yeah. So it's like once you're saved, and you can't go to hell.
I like that version. Growing up as Catholic, I'm just like taught to be guilty for like everything.
Of course.
Yeah.
Or at least that's like the lesson I learned, or that's how it feels as well too.
I rewatched the film Spotlight recently, which is about the Boston Globe's investigation into child abuse by the Catholic Church in Boston. Good God.
Oh yeah, starring Batman and the Hulk.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely superb film, though.
See, it also had Wolverine's older brother, Sabretooth.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's been in a lot of things.
I don't know. I don't know if he's hugely, but Mark Ruffalo does seem to be fairly based as an actor, better than a lot of them anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I say, even though Ed Northwind as like a as Bruce Banner as well too, because like him as a Hulk is like how you need him to be the Hulk. Honestly, that's like
Mm,
more of a CG character. But like Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, and I like a lot too. And yeah, he's also is a fine Hulk too. When you
Mhm.
get to like the Hulk that can like it's more than just like Hulk smash.
Yep.
yeah. Yeah.
Which kind of reminded me randomly that like I just like saw this across my Facebook feed, and I had to remember this as well too. I always liked Beast as a character in X-Men. Now, no, granted, it's from like the '90s X-Men cartoon series as well too, and I still have not seen X-Men '97, even though I heard nothing but good things about that one. But think about like a Beast. So he is the big muscular. He's literally called Beast. And like you would think that like he'd be like the same kind of like Hulk smash barbarian type, but like all bronze, no brains. And yet Beast is a soft-spoken like scientist that quotes Shakespeare and other poets as well too,
Mhm.
and wants to avoid fighting as much as possible, but if it's needed to for a situation, will engage in it, but more defensively, never offensively.
I think Ruffalo was tapping into that when he was playing the Hulk, though, wasn't he?
I agree.
There was definitely that aspect about his character's personality.
Well, I think that's always been Bruce Banner's thing.
Oh yeah.
Because remember, he
Yeah.
was trying to save lives when the experiment happened and went wrong.
It's so strange. The only sort of Hulk thing I saw when I was younger was like from the 60s or something. I don't know. It was
The 70s TV show.
Yeah, the 70s TV show.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure it was that.
That
With,
would Luke Ferrigno.
Yes.
Ferrigno.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, but I don't remember very much about it because I like the old Batman series a lot.
Oh, the '60s Batman, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's very queer as well, and positively queer too. And
Oh,
like,
God, yes.
and think about, and also there's some, even though it's like it wasn't a very conservative time. Well, it depends on who you talk to about the '60s. But like the Batman show, like they did show the hippies, and so that movie, but they always like show those like people with respect as well too. So like. And I think like
remember it had a black Catwoman and a Hispanic Joker.
Oh, Eartha
Exactly.
Kitt. Good God, yeah.
Earthquake.
What
sees.
What I love
Even in her later years, she was still pretty fine.
what I love about the guy who played the Joker, I don't remember his name.
Cesar Romero.
Cesar Romero, I think, yeah.
Romero.
He didn't shave his beard off. He just
Mhm.
put white makeup over it.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
And that's kind of what I love about that series, is that it's so campy and some of the effects are a bit sort of shit, and that's really funny.
Yes, think about the Riddler. Look at his outfit. He's like, that's the most flamboyantly gay outfit there's ever, and he's still like, constantly surrounded by women.
Yeah. I mean,
and Adam West is a closeted gay man, probably playing Batman just like that. And Kevin Conroy was apparently a gay man.
Oh yeah, he was gay as well.
And to find like his voice, the Batman voice, he had to find himself in that as well too, which apparently he talked about in the memoir that was, I think, released postmortem after he passed away as well too. But that's always interesting. I guess like to have a really good like Batman, get a gay Batman, get a gay man to play Batman.
Yeah, and also what I liked about it, what I still appreciate about it, is that it's so lighthearted and not as sort of.
Well,
I have to confess something. I have never watched The Dark Knight all the way through because I tend to fall asleep at the midpoint.
You know what? That's fair.
That's understandable.
As this Christopher Nolan, his movies can drag on a bit, honestly. If you're not engaged in his like narrative as well, too, and you can't those movies. I can see how people can fall asleep to his movies, honestly.
Well, Nolan also does tend to do the same damn narrative over and over.
I have not seen like a Dunkirk, but I bet I like another thing. I mean, I guess that like, oh, he's doing Oppenheimer. I guess it's Cillian Murphy playing Oppenheimer.
Mm.
As he always have Cillian Murphy in his movies.
But I did recently rewatch the Tim Burton Batman movies, and those I like.
I need to rewatch them as well too, because like, I mean, Jack Nicholson as like Joker, he definitely does. He's still Jack Nicholson. You
Well,
can't.
he's
take that-
always Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's always
never
Jack
be-
Nicholson.
Even in Easy Rider, he was Jack Nicholson, for Christ's sake. You know, he was more
Right.
Jack Nicholson than Jack Nicholson in that movie.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those actors like you know exactly what you're getting. So it's just like, but like he definitely made that Joker his own for sure, which is what you would hope to do, and that's definitely something. I still like Michael Keaton a lot as like Batman. I'm not sure if he's gay or anything like that.
I
But
liked
love
him as the Vulture. I liked him
Oh,
in the Spider-Man movie. He was superb.
Yes.
so great as the Vulture. Oh, that look he gave to like Peter Parker once he realized that as well too. And it's just like, ooh, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh,
He is not gay, Michael Keaton. He was married,
no.
at least for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, but still,
That's not necessarily.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Not
necessarily
dispositive,
good,
but
yeah.
they were married for 8 years. They had a son together, and then he had a relationship with Courtney Cox for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's
I have a hot take. My mother thought she was doing something special by taking me to see Batman versus Superman. But that was a shit show of a movie.
Yeah.
But
Don't get me started on Schneider.
One thing I didn't dislike was Ben Affleck as Batman.
yeah.
You know,
Yes.
I thought he was okay. Yeah, I thought he was all right.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the most recent Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, but I believe it's pretty decent.
It is.
I heard
It's long as hell. It's a 3-hour movie, but it is a good movie.
Okay. Steve Shives really enjoyed that movie, and that says something when he actually enjoys a 3-hour long movie.
Yeah. Speaking of
they do
long,
they do such a good job with the Riddler in that movie.
Oh,
He is
right.
genuinely a
cool.
terrifying villain.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
speaking of long, anybody watched the Fallout TV series?
Yes.
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week.
Right, okay. I'm apologise I wasn't here.
No problem.
Hey.
I was
Well,
quite impressed with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think John Barbie said last week, meaning that like it was just last week's show, not like last month as the last month's Patreon show. And
Correct.
hello, Joe.
Last week's show.
Hello.
Hey, you. Yeah, it's
Hello.
I think they did a really good job capturing the feel of Fallout.
It's easier to get to hear.
That we're hearing the other people that's around Joe as well too. I
Yes.
thought we were hearing the old stream back as well too.
Let's see if there's a.
It should be a mute button. You have to like tap
Here.
the app and do like.
There, you muted.
There we go. Awesome, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, I think it was a good show, good story. Some fans are really worried about how it might snarl up what's his thing stuff, continuity
New
from various
Vegas in
games,
particular. Yeah, in New Vegas in particular,
Yeah.
I think was the.
and how it might limit what ending is canon for Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, I still need to play Fallout 4. Or I just actually, you know what? The only Fallout game I played is the first Fallout game, and I mentioned this on like a friend's stream yesterday because like when I played Fallout was really young, and I was like. They have a very narrow idea of what an RPG is based on my experience of playing like Dragon Quest games and Final Fantasy games. And so it was like playing Fallout. It's like, okay, I got like 4 party members as well too. They're companions. They were with me with quests and complete quests. But when are going to get more? And how can I get in some random encounters in order to like level up? How can I level up in this game? I'm constantly dying. This has to be like an RPG, but it doesn't play like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest whatsoever. I need to play some
Yep.
but I do have Fallout 4. Thank you so much, Jamie J. And I'm sure I probably will actually enjoy Fallout 3, even with flaws, and Fallout New Vegas once I finally play them.
New Vegas is the best of the lot. of the
Yeah.
of the Bethesda Studios one.
Mhm.
Speaking of
Yeah.
which, did you see the studio that did Hi-Fi Rush has been shut down?
No, I had not seen that, and I don't know what Hi-Fi Rush is.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi
Uh,
seems like a good indie game as well
It
too.
was a good indie game. Lots of positivity. It was really entertaining. It sold reasonably well, but unfortunately for Microsoft stroke ZeniMax Studios, it didn't sell well enough. They aren't prepared. They've made it pretty clear that they're not prepared to put the effort into making a game at the level of Baldur's Gate 3, but they want their sales to all be at the level of Baldur's Gate 3. So, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Microsoft does own Bethesda, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And I don't know if that's like a sale of like Microsoft buying off Activision Blizzard King went through or not, or what happened there as well too. But
It
it's just
did.
like, it did went through. Okay.
It was cleared in Europe eventually, and they went
Yeah.
through with it.
I think Bobby Kotick is no longer working for Activision, which is at least
No,
like yeah.
Mhm.
but he'll have been given a nice fat golden parachute and
Yeah.
walked into a cozy CEO's job somewhere because that's where these
Yes.
people work.
It's don't worry, people keep on posting like images of Bobby Kotick with devil horns so he can never get a date again because he is actually complaining about that.
Yes. He complained that he was finding it difficult to get dates because the first picture everybody saw of him was the one with devil horns and red eyes, which I just think is just beautiful.
Is just play into Bobby Kotick and like, okay, I'm not a sadist or anything
Mm.
like that. Maybe a little demonic, sure. I can like role play with that if that's what you're into.
Yeah. Yeah. It's thoroughly vile human being.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything like new on that front as well too, but it's just like I still have not. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I have yet to like put like Activision Blizzard stuff on like blacklist for my. And some of my friends do, but I have friends that like play Overwatch and like WoW, and the leadership of the company has changed, so I guess there's that. But like, hold on, Joe, we haven't like checked in with you. So where are you and what you're up to? If you got like a quiet time to like chat.
I am doing a family Mother's Day thing right now.
Okay, yeah,
So
Mm.
I mostly just be listening.
okay, that's fine. That's good, and that's right. It is like the
Hence the loudness,
Yes.
children and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is the second Sunday of May, and like I think in most of the world that means it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all those who are mothers as well too. But like my older sibling said, happy like non-binary Parents' Day, since like non-binary parents is not as widely celebrated. And again, it's the second Sunday of April, if I'm correct on that. There's also I'll double check that for sure. I only heard that once from C Shive, so good. But also there's also a grandparents like day as well too.
Is there also a pet parents day?
Oh, I should check that. It's the third Sunday of April is
Oh.
non-binary parents day. Okay,
I
third-
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
In the UK, Mother's Day goes by a different name, Mothering Sunday, which honours the connection to the church in addition to mothers. During the Middle Ages, people who had moved away would come back each year on the fourth Sunday of Lent to visit their mother church, typically where they were baptized. That's why our Mothering Sunday is a different one to everybody else's.
I am not walking all the way to Kent to like go back to the church I've been baptized. I'm not even sure if that particular building is still there. They moved
Well,
into a
yeah.
much bigger, fancier church, if I remember correctly. And I'm assuming it's that one in Kent that I went to. It was my friend. But I did Google search. There is a National Pets Parents' Day. It's the last Sunday of April. So it
People who, I'm sorry, I have a pet dog. People who claim to be parents of their dogs need shooting.
Okay, But Phoenix, who's actually having a rough time financially, I'll make sure to like share Phoenix's links as well too. But like Phoenix says, "Happy Mother's Day to all my fellow cats and non-human like moms as well too." So
Sorry, Phoenix. I didn't mean it to you, love.
I've been doing some Googling. When Microsoft bought out Activision, it made Kotick $500 million. And then when he retired, he got a $14 million severance package.
mhm.
And he was ranked, I think, one of the most highly overpaid chief executives by
Yes, he
some
was,
group
wasn't he?
that ranked chief
Hi-
executives.
Him and Android Wilson at EA Games.
As You Sow ranked him 45th in a list of the 100 most overpaid chief executives in the United States.
Yeah, that's the thing of like, I still listen to the NPR politics podcast, and one of the things that like gets advertised on the NPR politics podcast, promoted as word to, it's like NPR's other shows is like, video games is a big business as well too. Learn all about it, and I just like, oh god, because there are some people that still remember Electronic Arts specifically as just like a plucky indie group of just a handful of like fellows, of course, because computer programming and the misogyny around that sort of thing in gaming. Blah. And they how they just like wanted to start up their own studio and stuff like that, and then create Electronic Arts and play like plucky indie games like Command and Conquer and all like that. But then EA has become EA. That's because like I think the 2000s is when this started happening, when non-video game people and people who came from other business ventures, who are business people, came into the video game like world,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, even people that like the video game like audience has grown to like, where Reggie Fils-Aimé from Nintendo, they like him, but he was always a businessman. Yeah, he probably happens to play some games, but he was never like a developer or anything like that. So
Yeah,
it's just like,
it was Invasion of the MBAs.
yep,
And
exactly.
they've, as with everything else they do, they managed to inject poison into the veins of the gaming industry.
Yeah. So I will quickly mention, to anyone that has extra money, it's just like Phoenix is one right now, $150 in the red, and was hoping to get some like comfort food or be able to buy some comfort food, but right now Snap's not going to come until like Thursday, and who knows if Phoenix are going to get back their like TDAP, temporary disability assistance program. And Joanna always needs some money. I think she's like more or less good, but like could always use extra money for like dinner on like low spoon nights as well too. Joey did post like on Facebook not that long ago, kind of like an update where like they have a job, a part-time job, but it just still doesn't like is not enough and then pay for everything, and they still have two outstanding okay, I love that like the meme that like Joey shared of like, I'll just like click the image and like copy the image link and post it. It's probably too long. It is too long for like YouTube, but I'll just describe it as well too. It is a mother holding a baby Godzilla, basically. But like Joey has a part-time job now, but as you can imagine with a part-time job, and and probably knowing that like how like you can pay disabled folks less than like it is like legally possible, then you are legally allowed to like pay disabled people less in this great country, the USA. But regardless, even his part-time jobs doesn't pay enough, so like Joey still has two outstanding like plumbing bills they have to pay off somehow. And yeah, this latest update about like all of our at least our three primary friends in needs that I focus on too. Little Quinn and Nat still like can use the help, but they also stream to like try to help that, and they don't need money until like the 24th or like 25th or something like that. So in 2 weeks, so they have some time. But anyway, yeah. And then also somehow I was called a Karen on Friday on Steve Tries to Ask Away.
And that is
Really?
like
Oh,
so
shit.
silly, and like that is just like
See, was that Mike?
No. It was a new, it's a new viewer I'd never seen before.
Okay.
The Kansas City has asked away.
It was a misogynist troll. How original.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because like, okay, maybe I complain way too much about like have the prospect of voting for like Biden or Trump in November, but it's also that will happen in November. That's like what, 7 months from now? I mean, oh no, 6 months from now. So
One
it's
of
like
them might be dead, but both of them might be dead by then.
I'm not saying that we should like assist in that process. We do not do successive terrorism on his social justice alchemy consciously, John
Wink.
Frankman.
No.
John Barker likes to joke about that, but like, no. So and so yeah, I go.
No,
on
we
and
do
on.
not want to be like Ben Shapiro.
Yes, exactly.
Oh god.
So yeah, I go on about like how Biden is like pro genocide because he is. Okay, he just finally realized or recognized or said something to the effect of like maybe all those humanitarian like communities or like the UN is probably on something about like Israel committing like war crimes as well too.
Yeah.
Gee.
Yep. The U.S. has said that yes, it may be the case that Israel used U.S. provided arms to commit war crimes, but there's not enough evidence. We're not going to do anything about it.
Honestly, I won't believe a word that Biden says about the strong words he gave to Benjamin Netanyahu until there's some actions behind those words. Actions speak louder.
But electorally, it's so dangerous to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the business with what happened at whatever it's called, the university,
where
the coppers. It just, it's not going to help Biden's chances, is it?
No.
And Biden has outright said like last week that like the protests at the encampments at like the college campuses for like the pro-Israel and solidarity to Palestine, not pro-Israel, pro-Palestine. There are pro-Israel counter-protesters though, but most of the college encampments have been happening been pro-Palestine, asking their particularly universities to divest
Boycott
from
and sanction.
boycott and sanction from Israel. Biden says like no, those protests are not going to like sway him on his like foreign policy whatsoever. So even when liberals say to like protest to like push your political politicians to like pull them to the left and so like that, for in this case in Palestine, the genocide happened in Palestine, with Biden is not doing anything, and so it's not swaying.
I think we got too political for
No. Joe's listening to us on earbuds, so like Joe's family's not going to hear us.
and it's so what do you call it? It's such a tricky thing because at the same time as that, what do you call it? Trump has made it clear both that he would treat those protesters worse and that he would treat Palestine worse, and that he would what do you call it? Give more assistance to Israel. So as much as it's gross.
I mean,
there is no anti-genocide vote in the election.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want Copenhagen Pride, which is a organization that puts on Copenhagen Pride each year. They just got defunded by a whole bunch of corporations for asking the corporations to at least make a stance on Palestine. And
we can't make a stance on Palestine because Palestine doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, and first it was, do you know Maersk, which is a huge sort of shipping company?
Oh, Maersk, yes, Maersk.
Oh, Maersk, okay.
Yeah. They pulled out, and then Novo Nordisk pulled out, and then a whole bunch of other ones pulled out, and it's like it frustrates me because they say, "Oh, the Pride has gotten too political," but I'm asking, what are the big corporations doing if they're not acting politically by making such a stance that they will pull out for being supportive of Palestine? That's political too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Bride's too political.
Pride's too political. That's just
Yeah.
like, oh
God's sake,
god.
these people.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's it,
Reminds me of that one meme where it's like a guy and the lady is labeled as political, and then
Mhm.
just a white guy and the black guy, and the black guy is labeled political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Evolve Jake is a YouTuber and Fortnite streamer as well too. I mod for him and like watch a lot of his content. He got a comment a while ago from someone, and when he mentioned this on stream, he does want to be political or get into political topics, but he said a comment on his like channel that like, oh, I love your content, I love your videos, they're great and informative, but I can't watch your videos because you use too many woke skins. He just uses a lot of women skins. And it's like to everyone, yes, that's what's woke. And just using female skins in Fortnite is what's woke to this person. To which everyone in the chat's like, "What? No, this can't be serious." It's just like I was the one person like, unfortunately, no. There are people who are that serious that like using a woman's skin is woke in Fortnite, and it's just like,
What? How?
oh, it's just like as I didn't even bring up of how like there are some men that think it's gay to like wipe their ass or go on dates with women or kiss women
or have sex with women. Like
or have sex with women.
that is the funniest shit Andrew Tate has ever said. It's gay if you enjoy having sex with women.
No, right. He said no. I got if you kiss a woman on the mouth, that women have gave blowjobs to other men, so you're kissing other men. It's just like that's the Dante Hicks logic. Every time I kiss you, I'm going to taste 36 other guys.
Good grief, these people.
Yeah.
How do they? Well, they don't, do they? I was going to say, how do they function? But they don't really. The majority of them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how they function as well too. What was I going to say? Is like around that. Oh, and yet some guys wonder why women would rather go with the bears in the woods instead of the guy.
Yeah. At least the bear isn't trying to justify its action by being
a bear, by just being a bear. Yeah.
Yeah. You know where you're standing with the bear. You don't have no idea with the guy, and that's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's batshit crazy, the whole thing. It really is.
Even though I did say to try to comment at that, even if I were in a hypothetical situation and like a woman come across me and I said, I understand if you would like rather I be a bear. Which Aaron, the conversation scholar, did call me out on saying like, and she did politely because like I kind of realized that after I hit send on that message, wait a minute, if I say something like that, that'll be me saying I'm a nice guy.
Joe, your camera looks like you're giving yourself an endoscopy. I don't know what's going on, mate.
I think he put it in his pocket.
Oh, right. Thank God for that.
So you're not far off.
Well, yeah, true.
It looks like an effect from Star Trek before they
got
they
good.
remastered the series.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like, wait, is Howard now joined the call or something like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the logic I think from like this like one viewer that called me Karen and Chief Size ask away is that I complain too much. Also, this person doesn't think that like Joe Biden is like pro genocide. So there you go. So not that this person's like opinions should be trusted.
They
But
weren't called Dr. Christy Winters, were they?
No. She,
I just wondered.
I haven't seen her in like the live Askways at all.
Well, I still watch Kevin occasionally, but I tend to watch it when he's talking with a streamer called No Justice, who I moderate for.
Oh yeah,
and she's UK based.
Yeah, No Justice
if
MTG is awesome
if
from what I've
yeah,
seen.
if I hear Christie's voice, I just switch the bloody thing off because I can't cope with her. I
Mhm.
just cannot handle her. She was incredibly
Liberal.
smug and she was incredibly smug and patronizing about my dad. So I just thought, you know what, fuck off. And she was definitely a Biden, no matter, you know, vote Biden, no matter who, no matter how awful he is. And she did a little. I remember she used to do a Sunday morning section, and she did a whole section of it. Took up a whole Sunday morning, telling everybody how Bernie Sanders was misogynistic towards Elizabeth Warren, and she could prove it. And I just thought, you're
Yeah.
you're just hurting yourself here,
Yeah. I think that I remember when we were sort of all sort of collectively sort of fighting against sort of Gamergate. I think
Mhm.
I think there was something that we could sort of stick together and fight for. But once there wasn't that anymore, all of our
Yeah.
differences just came out in full force.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's just kind of I have heard about that they're trying to start Gamergate 2.0.
Yes, they are.
There was
It's been an abject failure so far.
yeah, from what I've seen, because like it's only like terrible people I've seen that I talked about it. It was only like a month ago or so, and it's
Yeah.
all because of just one particular game, and like they want to like review bomb like the Steam page or something like that, or it seems to be all central there in that Steam community in that one place. So it's just like it has not branched out to anywhere else. So it's like
It was because of the what the hell are they called? There's a group who gaming studios use to talk to about diversity and inclusion and
I see.
inclusivity. And there are a lot of the rightoids are getting terribly upset about this. Because we just want white males or supermodels in our video games. Otherwise, we get very upset. The fucking pronouns guy, so to speak, mentality. And
Exactly.
it's just garbage. It's just rubbish. It's storming
and
a
these
teacup.
supermodels can't have anything to say besides, being pretty.
I mean, it's interesting. The only time on Twitter, at least, I've seen like this game called like Stellar Blade talked about. It's a Sony produced like game. It seems like PS5 exclusive.
Oh,
it's
this
because
is
like
hilarious.
it's because he can play a hot chick. But apparently, those same people who were like loving Stellar Blade like a minute ago were just like crestfallen when they realized that like you can add other clothing options to her where she's more clothed.
What it was there were two clothing options that were slightly cleaned up, for want of made more. I hesitate to say decent, but they were made more. They were made more acceptable for a youngish audience, shall we say? So that one was like a plunging V-neck top, and they put a piece of cloth across the top part of it, and this caused shadiversity and people like that to have a complete traumatic experience, of course.
I can't see cleavage in this game. I'm upset. And it's just like you're watching the backup for most of the game anyway, because like Stellar Blade seems to be like a Dark Souls like kind of game.
Yeah, it is, and you can move the camera around, so you can see plenty. Believe you me, I've seen it done.
I'm looking at an article about this right now, and it's hilarious. This author is amazing. Ethan Gotch. Stellar Blade is a PlayStation 5 sci-fi action exclusive about fighting monsters and saving humanity in a stylish post-apocalyptic world. So why are thousands of its self-identified fans signing a petition to, quote, free Stellar Blade, unquote, from censorship? The answer is surprisingly complicated and kind of sad.
Okay, so this is the same group of guys that were complaining about Tiffin Longshart's tits being like just a D cup instead of a double D. When she has a D cup, she's still big breasted and well endowed, and like was like
just not the absurd balloons, right?
Right. And the same guys who also complained about like the women in Mortal Kombat 11 wearing too much clothing.
They complained about Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn having peach fuzz.
Former Blizzard developer turned online angry gamer grifter Mark Kern recently posted a change.org petition calling for content from a previous version. We as gamers want this content back. We relied on it. We made the game the #1 pre-order worldwide because of it, and this is the true game we want. Oddly, the petition never explicitly says what the alleged censorship is. Sexy outfits that were nerfed at a pre-release update. Stellar Blade's main protagonist has big boobs and a bigger butt, but some of her most revealing costumes received minor alterations from what's on the unpatched disc version of the game. Graffiti creating an unintentional N-word reference was also removed.
It's... If you look at the character as well, she ain't that old. So there's also the...
No, she's got the typical anime features, big eyes, small face.
She's so you know it's we want our lolligoths back. Shut up, shut the fuck up, you actual freaks. And you call us the freaks, you know.
Go get Sims 4 and the Wicked Winds mod or something, and then you could get all the women you want in a video game.
I was wondering if my younger brother was part of the Free Stellar Parade campaign. I just found his Twitter again. He is, because this was the thing that he was complaining about, like Tokyo Mirage sessions of the censorship in that game. He would like retweet one angry gamer about the missing vag bone.
Oh, for goodness sake.
That's my younger brother.
Wow.
And it was just like, again, it was just a clothing option. You can.
What the hell is a vag bone?
There is no such thing as a vag bone, exactly. There's just like a sudden change of like the shadowing in like one shot in Tokyo Mirage sessions as well too. And yes, there was like clothing change as well too. The girls are not wearing swimsuits; they're wearing regular outfits as well too. They still look hot, honestly. And yes, they up age her from 17 to 18, even changed the Japanese doll log to say she's 18. What the fuck? What's wrong with that? Why is it so important for her to be 17 in this game? It is a teen-rated game, so it's not like anything else is going on.
Yeah. It's just gross.
How difficult it must be to get through life if that's what you find important.
This is why I don't talk
Just
to
not
my young...
appealing if it's not as gross as humanly possible.
Yeah, very true.
Here's the thing too. I have certain some complaints, at least from like friends of mine, about like certain gaming journalism or gaming media being like a bit too prudish, and which I would retort, listen, it's just all about. It's kind of like if the game makers just want to like make a game with hot girls, like there's a game that like Jim Stephanie Sterling's love called Only Chumbra, where it's just like scantily clad women in like in like action as well too. They don't have a problem with that game because that game wanted to just have hot chicks in the game, and that's that, and they're not ashamed of that. It's different when you try to make up some bullshit explanation for like quiet in like Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh yeah. My 10-month-old grandson watches James Stephanie Sterling with me and my daughter.
We
are starting him off early.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Thank God for them.
yeah. I remember when my cishet friends at art school, cishet men friends at art school watched Stephanie Sterling before they came out. I wonder what they think of them now.
Yeah. Because obviously for me, no change whatsoever. That's just awesome.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
They've lost about 200,000 subscribers though, which is a real shame.
yeah, it's just like, really, you have no problem with me with all of my positions that I had before, but once I just changed my pronouns and name and started wearing different clothing and like grew breasts, then you have a problem with me? Jeez. And it's just like, wow.
It's probably the sort of subscribers they could do without anyway, to be quite honest.
Agreed.
Yeah, but the thing was, also they watched these videos and then they would just started running with autoplay, and then they would sort of go to another video that was like, what was that guy, Dark Matter something. He would come on, and it would just sort of lead them down a really sort of bad path.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to talk to one of my friends about sort of how in Denmark it's so accepted to be an atheist. We don't need all of those sort of atheist videos that you kind of need to have in the US to be an atheist, because it's just like, if you're an atheist in Denmark, it's just like, oh, and then we move on and talk about
I mean, I watch. I'm not an atheist, but I do watch some atheist videos now and then. But there are some who are so insufferably smug that I'm just like, no. The we're right, everybody else is wrong mentality. I think it's new atheism, wasn't it? The Richard Dawkins.
Oh yeah, Rich Dawkins, Sam Harris, Thunderfoot,
Matt Dillahunty,
amazing atheist.
Oh god,
I did used to like TJ Kirk, but it's just like, and if I still was following his content when like his stuff was getting removed from YouTube because he was critical of feminism and so on, so I might have not can oh, it's always possible. My young brother went down that rabbit hole, but like I thankfully avoided that rabbit hole because like I was a gamer still for a long time, but I was also playing a lot of poker, so a lot of my time was driven elsewhere. I never spent that much time in the trenches of like the gaming sites as well too, so the only time I heard of like Gamergate as it was happening was just from Facebook posts from like Rap Critic, who was very anti Gamergate as well too. So thankfully, I just like know of like Gamergate of like their massive harassment against women who were speaking out against, and Zoe Quinn who were speaking out against Gamergate because they were victims of it. So it's like that thankfully like caused me to like go down the other rabbit hole of the Gamergate rabbit hole when I found out my younger brother was a Gamergater in like 2016.
Cool.
Well, TJ seems to have come back into the fold now and sort of admitted he made a lot of mistakes at that period of time. So,
yeah,
that's what I've heard.
I've watched a few of his vids. He's all right now, Or he reminds me of oh god, come on, brain, and engage yourself. The guy who wrote Watchmen.
Oh, Alan Moore.
Yes. He reminds me a lot of Alan Moore nowadays.
That's interesting.
I think I started.
Is it just because he has a crazy beard and whatnot?
Well, physically, yeah, he reminds me of him, in lots of ways. So.
Oh man.
I sort of stopped.
Alan, has anyone else here read through the entirety of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen stuff?
So
I have not.
After Century, it gets like so meta, and you just get the feeling that Alan Moore is just done with writing and kind of hates the audience now. The impression you get from reading that, it's so funny. Like like it's pretty much just directly him like saying to the audience like, no, I'm tired of pandering to you and everything like that, and
Brilliant.
like destroys the entire world. Oh, it's amazing. Like
Oh,
I don't even know if it's good, but it's cathartic.
it kind of reminds me, based off of the video essay by Dan Olson, Floating Ideas. Yeah, like I met Dan Olson at PAX Prime one time. He was really cool. And so it's one of his very old videos essays. This is when he was still using for the a Muppet he has. And it was about the end of Evangelion, because the end of Evangelion, yeah, Shinji is supposed to be on his proxy in the show, the DHS of Evangelion, but yet Shinji is still the honest proxy in end of Evangelion when Hideki Anno hated his audience, honestly, or certain segments of the audience, which is why end of Evangelion starts out with Shinji pleasuring himself to completion over the I forgot her name's comatose body. So that's him, Hideki Anno, the director, was really pissed off at his audience, or certain segments of his audience as well too. Make me want it's been still so long since I've seen Evangelion and End of Evangelion. The last time I saw Evangelion was on VHS tapes on sub, rented though. So they weren't copied over. When you could actually rent videos as well too. And yes, we surprisingly found a place that rented anime. So it's if it's long, I do want to rewatch it, because it's for anything else is definitely at least in anime, Neo Genesis Evangelion is a history piece and that sort of thing too. You can still not like it because it is very weird and surreal and out there at times, and sometimes just making sense as well too. But at the very least, it's saying something. That much I can say for certain for Evangelion, and at least that's better than other things that are just there to show you scantily clad women and hot chicks. There's plenty of those anime out there.
Oh yeah.
What do you call it? One of the free, if you sign up for PlayStation Network games right now, was Death Stranding, and it's Kojima's thing after he left Konami, and it is it's genuinely a really fun game about delivering packages, and also it's apparently what Kojima does instead of therapy, because it is wild, story wise.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's that. It kind of reminds me, because it's I think Hideki Anno went on antidepressants and then made New Genesis Evangelion, while the director behind Polymagik Makoto Magica went off at antidepressants and then made Polymagik Makoto Magica, at least the first season of it, which says something. But then that reminds me again of a much older, again a really old Phone Ideas video essay he did, where it's taken from a comic, and the comic was just kind of more played for laughs or anything like that, but it happened to have storyline where it's a artist was finally seeking therapy and to finally better himself, but then he's a rock star or a musician as well too. But his record label, his record executives, producers, doesn't want him to go to therapy, because kind of a stereotype when you think about it, oh, all those people that get clean and sober and stuff like that, their music starts to suffer afterwards too. And that, as the interesting thing is, it's just well, is it which is better to have the artist be actually centered human being as well too, or continue be suffering from their afflictions or their mental illness as well too, but still be able to create music as well too. And I really like that video essay, even though it was it's using a silly comic but had that storyline, and to ask that question as well too. And I'm more and I'm more of no. If the people seeking help, for one thing, seeking help, definitely should get the help that they want too, even if their art suffers because of that. Who cares? There's still plenty of like artists that like make good stuff and are not mentally ill or not have like mental illness as well too. At least that's my take.
The problem with artists is they're either mentally ill or they're complete and utter bastard capitalists.
There's also that.
There is no in between.
But I will say that mental illness can really hinder you doing anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
it just makes the process impossible to get through, because you have to concentrate and you have to get through it. And if you feel not great, then nothing gets done.
Yeah.
I was being a little facetious.
Yeah, I know, but it's
just for a change.
Just like in my experience, it's just like if I don't feel good, then I don't do anything for like a long time. And it's just like it's just like can I talk about quitting Twitter again? It's just like I didn't realize how bad I actually was feeling about being on Twitter. It was like that sort of urban legend of boiling a frog. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
And it's just like as soon as I quit, I realized that I have been boiled. And I feel a lot better.
We're all going on holiday to Scotland in a couple of weeks' time. And I warned my daughter that there, at the place we're going to, there is no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I would imagine, I'm going to get some reading done, but I would imagine she will have very twitchy fingers by the end of the week.
Weirdly enough, in like it's not like I was like coding off. I just like forgot to like my earbuds. I have Bluetooth earbuds here at the apartment, so I went to work yesterday without them. All the changes that like my normal routine of going on the bus and going to work is that like I'll watch Twitch streams on the bus, and then like once I get to work, I either watch more Twitch streams on the computer or listen to podcasts on the as I'm working. I didn't get to like do that. I did complete my work and just fine because I managed to watch a lot of Twitch. That like, well, I'll do that. Did the work at the desk that I could. But then like, since I can't like watch the Twitch stream as well too, I happen to still have my Kindle. It's actually the Kindle my mom gave me, so there's that. That's birthday gift years ago. So hey, some of the value there. So I was like reading something on like the Kindle, or just like something on my phone because I still have internet when I did have internet, and so I can imagine that like if I can connect to like the world to net as well too. Granted, I had a Kindle, so there's that. But it's a Wi-Fi only, so it's like it's only if I want to. You cannot connect to the internet. But like I got books on there that I still want to read and still want to finish, and so like there you go.
I bought the Future Press Dark Souls Trilogy Compendium, which is basically their guide to all 3 of the Dark Souls games. And it's over 500 pages long, and it's stunningly beautiful. And I'm looking forward to taking it with me to Scotland just so I can sit there and read in the quiet time when little man goes to sleep, you know.
Yeah. It's also just remind me yesterday, I just gotta read more. But I also just like watched a lot of like Twitch for like Fortnite stuff. But I should read more.
Oh yeah. I mean I bought a book the other day and it's rather good, so I'm enjoying it. It's called Wild Service: Why Nature Needs You.
That's interesting.
About like rewilding and other things, you know, and trying to try and reconnect with nature.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I mostly use audio books for reading because my concentration is not to read books, especially not sort of literature that is I'm trying to get through Judith Butler's newest book, Who's Afraid of Gender.
Yeah.
That's a very dense book, but it's a good book. But it's very dense, and it's not sort of it's not sort of enjoyment reading. It's just sort of like
Yeah.
to
I think
have
I need to take a couple of, fluffy thrillers with me as well, probably.
yeah, because it's just like it's my parents
Cat.
are like, you never read, and it's like I read a lot, but it's like a lot of fan fiction.
I mean, yeah, if I wanted to just like read something that's like not important and it's just like fluff, David Colby, who likes a viewer and like asks a lot of questions to like Steve Shives, he writes a lot of like erotic fan fiction essentially, but like with his own characters, but like it's just like it's pulp adventures with like sex in it as well too,
Mhm.
and like it's just like the silly fun novelettes that he wrote, and he's working on and as he said in like his question to Steve Shives, or statement to Steve Shives, honestly, that he's going to include Stuffy in his next novel, where it's just like they're going to be like, it's basically like they're going to reincarnate Hitler or do double Hitler, that sort of thing too, but like all the villains and all the Nazis are stuffed animals too.
Oh,
It is
God.
absolutely played straight.
Oh, dear.
And-
Speaking of which,
and-
I was watching a really good, entertaining video about the Wolfenstein games, and it was the one where you kept showing the clip where Hitler is Hitler is peeing in a bucket and throwing up on the floor in front of people.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good to like see.
Yeah,
Eh.
it's kind of cathartic watching that.
Yeah, it is. And
Even
just like all of those footages of like a Nazi getting punched, like the one in Seattle, just like
Oh, yeah,
one
yeah.
punch and is down.
yeah, but it, do you remember when people got banned on Twitter for
I
the
remember,
Richard
yeah.
Spencer getting beaten up. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm,
That was so nice.
It
mhm.
was a beautiful moment. It was one of the
It was a
great-
beautiful moment. It wasn't a very good punch though.
No, it was
No.
terrible.
No, but it's also like you
Bastard
can't
was still standing.
I was
Uh,
say
uh,
that the fact that it was a mediocre punch almost makes it better because the reaction was still overblown.
Yeah.
He walked
Yeah.
away shaking.
yeah,
Mhm.
but it's also you can write the most racist, homophobic shit on Twitter, but if you write punch a Nazi, you get banned.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's just it's so silly. It's just like I
agreed.
got banned on Twitter for writing under a picture of Goebbels where he's standing like this for some reason, and I said, when you're when you're so much of a Nazi, you want to punch yourself.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Love it.
that
yeah.
got me a 12-hour ban.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's right. John Burns is an interesting person because like I shared that last Sunday, I kind of like shared a meme where it's just like it's a stormtrooper and looking at like the Death Star, kind of like that meme of the astronaut in front of the moon or the Earth, and the astronaut behind them is another stormtrooper holding the gun. Wait a minute, Star Wars was all about like the Empire, and Star Wars was just like a metaphor for Western imperialism, and the other was like, it always was. John Burns said, I commented, is George Lucas is the Joseph Goebbels.
What?
What?
I can't understand John Burns' thinking, honestly, because into which like our good
What?
friend Hank called out John Burns on that. It's like, you're comparing a artist and George Lucas. I mean, he's also a businessman and like there's that, but like, hey, no, he created something, definitely. Still like to THX 1138 as well too. Oh, and yet you're comparing artists to a Nazi? And he never answered that. He just never
Of course
qualified
not.
that. Well, I don't. He did sort of answer it, but I was just like so baffled by his answer. It's just like I don't know. It's just like again, John Burns. I'm sure you're a great guy, and like if you still give money to like Joanna Roberts, great. That's awesome. There's like less pressure off of me, but like still, I don't know how you think sometimes. Oh, and by the way, it's like in case thankfully I have not lose any friends over this as well. So I posted it all over my social media. It's like I should like share it on Instagram too, just in case. That like free Palestine. I'm pro Palestine. I'm not necessarily pro Hamas, but I am pro Palestine. And just because I'm
It's
pro
just
Palestine,
like I genuinely don't understand how people can come down on this on Israel's side, given the information and given you see the maps of how much Palestine has disappeared due in the course of years. How can people still come down?
Oh, people are incredibly stupid, I'm afraid.
or
Yeah.
they've been indoctrinated with your propaganda as like pro Israel, and to be like pro Palestine is to be anti Israel, which
Yeah, but it's just like, if, as far as I understand it, Israel is supposed to be a secular country. If it was any other government, people would absolutely be
Yeah.
criticizing them. It's
Well,
just that they're Israel.
they're not that much different to Iraq, Iran,
Yeah.
and the Americans are quite happy to invade it.
those
Yeah.
two countries, yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just that the that I just I have sort of I went to sort of a school once where we had this subject about this conflict and stuff, and it was just kind of frustrating to see how any sort of peaceful resolution was always sabotaged.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just. But yeah.
War is good for business. It's not good for anything else.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
and that is why sort of I think big corporations come down on the side of Israel, is because they can sell shit to Israel and they can't sell it to Palestine because Palestine is poor.
Small and poor. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, hell, like when like Trump like launched a missile to like kill that like Iranian general at the Iraq airport. So it's like there's that. Like the stocks for Lockheed Martin and BA Systems and General Dynamics, and I'm sure other weapons manufacturers, they went up that day.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you get it in the US as well, because we certainly get it here. And when you get these big companies announcing mass layoffs, the stock price almost always actually goes up.
Yeah, I mean, when their house gets foreclosed on, the GDP of your country goes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So how the metrics that we use to like measure the economy is like whatever is good for the 0.1%, and that's it.
Well, this is something No Justice frequently argues for. We need to stop using GDP as a measure of a country's financial growth.
I mean,
I also think we have to sort of rephrase: is the economy growing a good thing?
Yeah.
Isn't always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, capitalism is founded on infinite growth. And, we're in a closed system. You can't have infinite growth in a closed system. So
you can't have exponential growth at all. Ask any physicist.
Yeah.
And yet, like,
there's a limit to how much space we have and how much energy we have, and that's a hard limit. We're not going to get around that.
Yeah. It's yet like the company I work for it got merged with a bigger company, boy, that is owned by Goldman Sachs, a financial institution, and our
Yeah.
financial institution is expecting boy to like produce revenue or profits every quarter, guaranteed. So for if there's any like slowdown in supply chain whatsoever for whatever reason, and then we had to make up the revenue somewhere else by pulling in other jobs. And I heard it from like a new product manager that like we sent parts to like a customer well before they were like ready to receive those parts as well too, but they already paid for them or they already had the PO. It's just like we shipped them way early, so far as I know, they haven't complained about like receiving like 140 of the parts early for something like that. But we did so we can get revenue or make profits for that month in that quarter. And I don't understand why it's like it has to be shipped out at the end of the month. It's the end of the month, it's the end of the month. Like if it ships up next month, then we still make money, right? But it has to be done this month. Why? Because we're slow on this month or soft on this month, or might have, oh my god, a negative number this month. Oh, maybe boards should like just like make sure they have plenty in savings in their accounts for when they have lean months. But apparently,
Yeah.
the Goldman Sachs doesn't want lean quarters at whatsoever.
No.
Yeah.
Must have
They-
profits.
They're good about telling regular people, oh, you need to have a nest egg, and then it's like they don't.
Yeah, they don't want a nest egg, or if it's a nest egg, it's just like a parachute for like the CEOs.
Yeah. So it's like yeah, it's going to collapse soon.
Yep. Or maybe it's just all crumbling right now, and we're in the middle of the crumbles. But because like we're all predicting the great massive collapse as it is, which kind of happened as we had Second Black Monday when COVID hit, that like it's like it's so much easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism, and like, but yet maybe it's just like it's not going to be a massive collapse, but instead of the crumbles of the infrastructure, crumbles of like the healthcare sector, or the crumbles of so many different other things as well too. Or maybe it is collapsing in like certain pockets of the world, like what's happening in Palestine right now, but that's a deliberate action against Palestine too.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, here in the UK, there's been a massive outcry over the fact that privatized water companies are pumping untreated sewage into the rivers, the lakes,
Oh.
and the sea.
Jesus Christ.
And there are still people out there who are saying we don't need to nationalize these water companies.
And it's such
If you remove the profit motive from these people,
Mhm.
the investment will get done anyway because they are given a guaranteed yearly income because they cover set geographical areas.
Mhm.
So,
but that's also all of sort of like privatized electric companies and water companies. It's all completely bullshit, especially like private electric companies, because the power comes from one place, and it's like
yes,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, why are we?
it's insanity. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not a. It's not. There's not a well thought out argument there, is there?
yeah, it's just like what? It's the same power. Why do I have to pay less or more for
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
It's honestly, I mean, economics is just like a bullshit kind of like science anyway. In my
Yeah.
opinion, the capitalist economics for sure,
Mm-hmm.
built off of several assumptions and like without any proof, or like, and they kind of like they they say that like that like the actual things and policies have to match in order to fit their models, because that's the only way their models works. Yet their models are built on so many assumptions that are not actually happening, and there's several evidence that it doesn't happen that way. And it is so no wonder that like the economists did not predict the 2008 crash, when any non-economic economists when they follow that sort of stuff, and kind of like sees like, wait a minute, this is going to collapse soon, isn't it? And it's just like even one economics has like apparently based off like a review of debunking economics that I read last night again on my phone because I didn't have the earbuds to watch Twitch on my ride home. Is that like, yeah, even one economist has to like throw away his like theory once the 1928 Black Friday crash happened, because like that kind of like the empirically prove his like model is bullshit. And if people wonder why I'm not like a communist and not a capitalist, and how I hate capitalism. Anyway, we like on about 4 minutes past the like 90-minute mark. So, Ellie, Joe, and it was also like Joe's like pants. Mithril, thank you for coming to the Patreon show. So, like, any plugs that you want?
Yeah,
Haley?
I want to plug my my Fred's account and my Blue Sky account for my cat. I know it's silly, but it's and I have to say I like Fred more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that is just like, it's the same as my Instagram for my cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know how do you feel about Fred's, Jonathan?
I like it enough as well. I just kind of like thought it was, and I get more interactions on Threads, interestingly enough, than I do on Blue Sky. I've been getting like decent engagement on Blue Sky, but I'm also kind of like not surprised that like so far. Well, again, it's just like, I don't know. I also like haven't done so to try to like actually spend a lot of time on those like sites to like follow up people or comment on other people's like things as well too. But more just like it's just right now just my friends that like are commenting and replying or like liking my stuff, and so like that's always like that.
Yeah, it's also because it's smaller yet, and there's not so many goddamn Yahtzees. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely that. Luna, I'm gonna butcher this again, so I apologize. A great grin.
Yeah, Agagrin.
Agrin. Okay.
Yeah.
And Princess Luna on the other places. So it's like either so Princess Luna, probably search Princess Luna on like those sites and like you'll find them. I'm assuming that Joe and Mithril have nothing to plug, than like maybe charitylinks.page. So and I'm Summary Geek on Threads and I am on Instagram. I just have to remember to post that. It's just like the interesting medium because you have to post a picture or something. And now I can post pictures from a desktop, which is like why I barely use it because like it used to be like you can only post pictures from your phone, but now you can do it on desktop. But still doing it's kind of like weird and it's a weird extra step to me because sometimes I just want to post text and like how do I do that? I know I can screenshot it and blah blah. It's like it's just like extra steps as well too. But I am on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, co-hosts, Tumblr, and Twitter. So it's like, and I'm Jonathan Scott on Facebook. So if you want to follow me on Facebook, there you go. But I'm also on like Summer Geek on YouTube and like Twitch, and I'm gonna be like streaming on like both of those once I get off this call to like play some more Fortnite because I got a lot of like Star Wars quests to get to completed, or I feel the need to complete them whatsoever, for cosmetics and rewards. Is before Tuesday when the update happens to remove some Star Wars stuff from like Fortnite as well too. Yes, and I play Fortnite with 577 skins that I have on Fortnite, and I spend money on that game despite my credit card debt as well too. John Brutman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Indeed, Dungeons and Debacles. Don't know when the last time we updated was, but we're still playing. It's a lot of fun. We recently recruited someone into the group, an NPC, who may or may not be a bad guy. Just because we don't know. And he was the only survivor of a massacre instigated by the bad guys.
There you go.
So
also, charitylinks.page and like consider if you have extra money, give money to either Joey, either Phoenix, or either Joanna. They could all use the money if you have the extra money to spare to like give to as well too. If not, share their links around on the social media sites, and charitylinks.page also has a bunch of other like links in there too. I should maintain that a lot more, but like the charitylinks.page and like take care of yourselves, everyone. Practice self-care.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.